Alright, ladies and gents, we live. Welcome to my first ever Destiny 2 video. I am the Real Asian Robot, also known as the People's Champion. Now, many of you may know me from my Dauntless content, but if you don't, that's okay. I've decided to start doing some Destiny 2 content, and that's why I'm here to bring you 5 beginner tips for those of you who are starting Destiny 2 in 2021, just like me. Okay, let's go to tip number 1. The first tip that you guys will need, alright, is this. Tip number 1, ignore the story. Why is this the case? Let me explain it right now. In Destiny 2, here's the problem. If you go to the timeline, okay, and how do you reach the timeline? Go to destinations. It's up here, right? It's the history of Destiny 2. Destiny 2 actually started and opened with the Red War. Alright, the Traveler Awakened was the prologue, and then the Red War happened. These have all been removed. These campaigns have been removed. So you can no longer play this, and it makes no sense to me because this was literally the story of Destiny 2. Alright, Curse of Osiris and Warmind also can no longer be played. I don't know why. Their content, some of their stuff is still in the game, like Sleeper Stimulant, these kinds of weapons. Don't worry if you don't understand what that means. You'll learn about it later, but you have to ignore the story because the story no longer makes sense. The story literally starts at Forsaken, where your buddy Cade 6, whom you never even met, is dead. Then you go to Shadowkeep, and then the Traveler gets healed or some stupid shit, and then Beyond Light, which is where we're starting now. Okay, so if you don't care about the story, you're going to have a good time. If you do care about the story, you're going to have a really bad time. So tip number 1, ignore the fucking story. Okay? Alright, now that you've ignored the story, tip number 2. Okay? Get to 1270 Light ASAP. I'm going to explain exactly what this is to you right now. Okay, so first you need to understand what is light. Alright, light is a reference to your power. Okay, your power score is an aggregate of the power value over all your equipment, and then basically whatever bonuses you have. A higher power score improves both your damage output and your defense. This is important to remember. So, how do you improve your power score? Well, first you need to understand that in the game there are soft caps and hard caps. The first cap that you ever reach is 1270. That is the soft cap in the game, and I'm going to teach you right now how you can get to the soft cap. I reached 1303 after playing only for 1 week and 2 days. That's how long we've been playing. 1 week, 2 days. That's it. Okay, it's very easy to advance yourself. Okay, and I'm not even, and although I've only been playing it mostly on stream, so it's about 3-4 hours per day, we haven't really played all that much. So, how do you reach the soft cap first? Okay, sorry, wrong screen. In order to reach the soft cap, okay, one of the first zones that you enter during your tutorial is called the Cosmodrome. Okay, you will also, now in the Cosmodrome, you can find public events. Okay, these are a great way to power up. The next way that you can power up is also by doing strikes. If you click on the Vanguard Strikes playlist and click this, alright, and launch into a strike, it has matchmaking, so don't worry, you're never alone. You will get loot at the end that will usually advance your power level until you hit the 1270 soft cap. Okay, you can also visit something called Lost Sectors. What are Lost Sectors? Well, I'm about to show you right now. Alright, welcome to Earth. Alright, a Lost Sector, as I mentioned, is a hidden area of the game. Sorry, I have to open up my director. It is marked by this symbol, alright, the 2 arches and a dot. They each have names, alright? And when you find them, well, they're not something you can mark on the map, but, well, if you navigate to their location, you'll find them relatively easily. Let me pick up this chest right here. Now, you'll notice my videos have very little editing because I like to show people reality. Okay? If you go inside these little holes and nooks, especially where a lost sector is marked, okay, you will usually find yourself in that place. And when you get there, you get a nice little notification telling you that you made it. Okay? I should be getting one roughly soon. Alright, this is a place called the Weep. There we go. You see at the left-hand side of the screen, the Weep. and it will say Lost Sector. Why do you want to visit Lost Sectors? Well, much like with the strikes and the public events, Lost Sectors also give you gear at the end. There are enemies inside that you can kill, pop, do whatever. And as you kill your way through, okay, you will get to the end and unlock a chest. I will show you that. As you murder your way through the Lost Sector, you will find a boss. Well, these are not the bosses. These are just his nightmare wretches. But you will find a boss, and the boss will be guarding a little chest. Okay, that chest... Yeah, there's the boss. He's over there. Okay, that chest is awesome. Okay, after you murder the boss, alright, he will have a chest at the very back, which you can touch and get gear out of. Okay, there you go. Now, sometimes you won't get gear, but you do get a lot of helpful stuff. And honestly, it's also because I've already done this Lost Sector. But you can also kill all these enemies to get other stuff as well. So don't sleep on Lost Sectors, okay? They're something very useful in your little journey. Now, while you're doing all this stuff, strikes, public events, and Lost Sectors, you can do all of that while also advancing something else, which is going to bring me to tip number 3. Okay, are you ready for tip number 3? Here we go. Alright, tip number 3. Okay, clear the Beyond Light campaign ASAP. Alright, let me explain this to you right now. Welcome to Europa. Alright, Europa is a nice little ice planet. Okay, it's found over here. Okay, and you want to clear the Beyond Light campaign ASAP. Why? Why do you want to clear the Beyond Light campaign? Okay, here's the thing. Clearing the Beyond Light campaign not only unlocks stasis for you, alright, which is a subgroup of abilities. Now, you've got 3 abilities which you'll unlock easily during the game, but you also unlock stasis. This is a powerful ability that you can build up, and many of the best builds in the game focus around this. Okay, it is strong, it is powerful. Use it. Completing the Beyond Light campaign is helpful because there's weekly stuff that you need to do in order to advance your stasis. You won't be able to unlock it all at once, unlike with the other subclasses. So please make sure you do that ASAP. Okay, that's why tip number 3 is do the Beyond Light campaign. And in addition to that, if you've properly hit the soft cap and you're slowly advancing your power level beyond that, you will unlock one of the strongest swords in the game. It is the strongest sword in the game, in fact, through the Beyond Light campaign. You can obtain this lovely exotic absolutely for free. So don't sleep on that campaign. Do it ASAP. Alright? And speaking of power and advancing it beyond the soft cap, I'm going to bring you guys to tip number 4 right now. Alright. Sorry about the construction in the background. Anyway, I'm going to bring you to tip number 4 right now. Tip number 4. Do your weeklies to get strong. What are weeklies? Weeklies are something, and hold on, I gotta show you, I gotta shift back here. Weeklies are this little thing whereby, oops, sorry, wrong place. If you go to your destinations, right, you'll see certain things like in the Vanguard Strike, there'll be Nightfall, stuff like that. It will say weekly there. Okay, what you're looking for is powerful gear. You need powerful gear in order to reach 1,320, and pinnacle gear will help you just the same, but pinnacle gear is usually a lot more difficult to get to. Alright, so the more you do your stuff like gambits, you play 3 matches in a week, you get pinnacle gear, things like that. All this stuff is a great way, of getting powerful gear, stuff like that. Now, powerful gear will take you to 1,320. Okay, your Vanguard Strikes, your Gambit, your Crucible, all this, Astral Alignment here, all this stuff is weekly, and it will give you the powerful gear you need. Alright, whenever you see the symbol, it means that there's powerful gear. You can also obtain prime engrams while doing these activities, which you can unlock at the Cryptarch. Alright, the Cryptarch is in the tower, alright? When you see him glowing, Master Rahul, you'll be able to unlock your prime engrams there, and that can give you powerful gear. This can you can just find it all over around the world. Other methods are like, your Gambit bounties, you can do those. You can do your bounties here to get powerful gear as well. Completing Crucible challenges, you can do you can get trials, victories, things like that. Your Prophecy dungeon, now this one you probably only want to attempt much later on. I tried it early on and completely got owned. Recommended power level 1100 is bullshit. Okay, let me tell you that. But now let's move on to tip 5. And I'm so sorry about the construction going on in the background. I got no control over my neighbors. They're not even supposed to be doing this right now. Anyway, last tip that you guys need to enjoy the game. All right, the last tip for beginners to get really good at this game. Tip number 5. Know your strong. Know your exotics. Okay, let me explain what they are right now. Exotics are a type of equipment that is very powerful. Okay, legendaries can come with random perk rolls, okay, which is why there's something called god rolls. Let's see, if you get a Vulpicula, your next Vulpicula could have completely different abilities here. Okay, and whatever you roll with can change how your weapon functions. But exotic gear is unique in that exotic gear always has the same stuff. But there's a catch. Oh, well, it also comes with something unique, like, for example, Banshee's Wail on the Lost Lament. But there's something unique about this. You can only have one exotic weapon and one piece of exotic armor. If I were to try and equip another exotic, you'll notice I cannot. You can only equip one exotic weapon. And just for shits and giggles, let me show you. If I were to equip this, I could not equip the exotic armor. You can only equip one piece of exotic at a time. Alright, so know your exotics and know which exotics to go for. Me personally, I have a selection. Alright, I have a selection that I like to use. You know, when things aren't, you know, I have certain builds, loadouts, like this is why you need your legendary gear and your exotic gear. Because, for example, what if you want to use the Monte Carlo? I can't use the Lament, so I'd have to use something like Tarantula. Then I can put on my Monte Carlo, and then I can use whatever I want here that is I can put on maybe Null Composure. Okay? So something like that could work as a loadout. But if I wanted to use the Lament here, then I'd have to take off the Monte Carlo. I'd have to put on whatever I've got here, Vulpicula. Then I put on the Lament, and there you go. So that's a loadout. All right? Knowing which exotic to obtain is so key for your strength in this game. So start researching exotics. There's exotic swords. Every weapon type has a variety of exotics. And looking at the Dauntless. Sorry, I'm a Dauntless content creator. Branching out. If you look at Destiny 2, if you just search top 10 auto rifles or top 10 hand cannons, you'll get a list which will include some exotics, and you can start to see how to structure your builds. Let's say you like hand cannons. Vulpicula is one of the best. So I've got my Vulpicula here, and then in my secondary slot, I would right now I don't have a fusion rifle that's up to snuff because I'm still in the power up stage. So while you're still powering up, sometimes you will just use whatever is there. Quite frankly, that's why I'm using the submachine gun here, but I would probably pick a fusion rifle, a really strong one, like, okay, Null Composure. That one's making me feel good. And then I'd put on something like the Lament, you know, as my sword. Or if I wanted, like, something heavier or strong, I could put on, like, a Thunderlord machine gun, Tarantula fusion rifle. The possibilities are endless. But if I put on the Tarantula, I would probably put on the Telesto here, because Telesto, one of the best fusion rifles. So structure your weapons the way you enjoy. Okay? That is something that I cannot stress enough. Structure your weapons the way you enjoy and you have fun. Okay? But know your exotics and know your stuff. All right, that brings us to the end of our tips. All right, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'll be bringing out a lot more Destiny 2 content. So, okay, don't hesitate to ask questions. Now, I'm a super noob, but maybe we can learn together. All right? If you want to support my content, you can always drop a tip via the link in the description of the video. All right. You can also send super thanks on YouTube. And I just hope that you enjoy what I bring to the table. So thank you so much for watching this. Let me also give special thanks to September's top supporters. And don't forget, you can catch me on stream doing Destiny 2 every day, like I said. September's top supporters: Bravo7910, Crampy D, Lewis Grave, FNX Killer 43, Zavi Uzumaki, Alien Frost 80, Kazmanta, my lovely girl, Yuki no Kami, J Money 13, Ravik Starbuzz, and Michael Roberts. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do for me. And I will see you all on the next one. Okay. Now then, I'm going to go play more video games.